It was quiet, so it's fine.
Alright, you guys. We are recording.
Nice.
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 I don't know. Alright. Open up Maya, make a new layer, and you're going to call this layer. What we're going to do is we're going to set these controls up to where you can animate very easily. Because right now we have like bones in the scene, we have IK in the scene, we have locators in the scene, we have controls in the scene. And like if I drag a box, it selects IK first or bones. We don't want to be messing with IK and bones. So on the bottom right hand side, there's a little create a new layer button where my mouse is.
I don't see that on mine.
Hit Control A.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
Oh.
New layer.
And create a new layer, and the title for this layer is going to be hidden. And then make another layer, and the title for that layer is going to be mesh. Nice.
Nice.
Alright, so now I want you to just drag a box over the beetle, Scarab, whatever, and it's going to select the IKs, okay? So if you just drag a box over the beetle, it'll select the IKs. I want you to right click on hidden and add selected objects. Right click on hidden, add selected objects.
Nice.
And then there's a V on that layer, turn it off. And as you can see, it hides those objects. Nice. Now drag another box over the beetle, and it's going to select the bones, do the same thing, add them to hidden.
On mesh or on hidden?
Yeah.
Hidden. My bad. Sorry, Kyle, I'm a bit slow.
Well, speed up. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is hide everything but the mesh, and then select the mesh and add that to mesh layer. So just go to show, none, show polygons, select the entire mesh, right click, add to the mesh layer. Then you can show everything again. Nice.
When you upload your videos, do you get comments that you say nice too much?
Actually, somebody commented on my video recently, which was kind of funny, but I'll tell you that comment here in a second. So on that mesh layer, to the right of the P box, click that twice to where it says R. That R is for reference. And what that means is,
See the box? No. No. That one.
look where my mouse is.
Double click. That one.
Change that to R.
There you
Oh!
go. Jesus, man.
So now when you select a box over everything, it only selects controls.
Wow.
You only want it to select controls, fam. Now save your scenes.
No, all. There you go.
Yeah, the whole. Like, I just gotta get the box on what's going on. You hide.
Is there an R?
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So yeah, somebody put a comment on one of my YouTube videos this past week, and it was pretty funny. The comment was, "Wow, the instructor got really snippy with one of the students."
Snippy? Which one?
I was like,
You got snapped?
Gura.
dude, I don't know. I have maybe 200 videos on.
Dude, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Report him. Report him.
That's pretty funny. I was like, okay.
Comment and block.
Pretty sure it was Sammy.
You need your little beeper on your
Obviously,
video. So
obviously
you can beep
that
them
person
out.
does not know Gura.
I'm like, not the I don't really get snippy, but like if somebody, you know, if I have to like tell somebody the same thing like 5 times, I kind of get a little annoyed. I think anyone would really.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Are you recording this?
I am recording this
I
conversation.
was gonna comment on that.
Going to the FBI.
All right,
I was
so
gonna report you.
So now the cool thing about putting stuff on layers is that now if you drag a box, you should only be able to select controls, which is really cool. Alright, so there's a couple things we need to do before we set up our animation. Well, first of all, let's save this scene. So Control S, and it will save the scene.
Wow.
Alright? so that now that saves the rig in its base pose here, ready to animate. So let's save this scene as a new scene. We're going to call it walk. Okay, so in whatever folder that you're working in, call it walk. Save file, save scene as. Call it walk. Or make this thing walk. So our whole goal for this Scarab today, what we're going to do is we're going to make it walk, and then I don't know, depending on how quickly we'll probably just make this walk today, and then next time we'll probably get it in Unreal, and then Micah, the programmer that's in our class, is going to show us how to like make it shoot and stuff. So you guys are going to do a little bit of blueprint in here today, which is cool. But we'll do that next time. All right. Alright, so on the bottom right hand side there's two little things. There's like a running man, and then there's a thing next to it. The thing next to it, if you mouse over it, it's called auto keyframe. Turn that on. It's red. You will need that. And then next to it is the animation settings. Click those. We're going to go in here and do a couple things. First thing we're going to do is set this to 30 frames per second, because most games typically run at 30 frames per second. So we want to see exactly how. So set the time slider to 30 frames per second. Now down at the bottom where it says playback, change that to other, and change other speed to 30.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, 30. Now over on the left hand side under categories, click animation, and under evaluation change it from parallel to DG. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that does.
Don't say that on the camera.
Well, I know what it does, but I don't know what it means. Please sit next to someone. What it means is, or what it does is, like, it just makes sure that like when you're animating, you can see the mesh move like in real time, if that makes sense. The other it evaluates in real time, which is totally weird. All right, anyway, hit save. All right, so we're gonna change our frame slider here. The first frame we want it to be 0, and the last frame we want it to be 20. Okay, so at the bottom, on the left hand side of the screen, change the number. It was like 1.25 something or other. Change that to 1, and on the far right side, change that to 20. And then you can go ahead and save your scene, Control S. And this will be the starting point for our walk animation today. Alright. So I was watching that Scarab animation that what's his name had.
Halo Man?
And just looking at this, all I wanted to know was how the legs moved. And it's actually quite simple. If you watch, there's 4 legs and they alternate. So
You can slow down the play.
yeah, I don't need to. So I got it. Alex, I got it. The front right leg and the back left leg do the same thing. And the front left leg and the back right leg do the same thing. Does that make sense? So this is like the easiest animation in the world. All you gotta do is just make the alternating legs do the same thing. Does that make sense? Cool. Got it. Let's do it. Alright, so first things first, I want you to grab the front right leg control and set a key, hit W to move it, and I want you to move that forward in translate Z negative 1.5. I'm just going to move that forward so you're on frame 0, and then set a key, tap S on it. Alright, so I'll do that again just to make sure everybody has it. So you grab the foot control here, make sure you're on frame 0. You're going to move it forward. You can tap W to move it forward. And in the upper right hand side in the channel box here, you want to make sure that you move it forward negative 1.5. Negative 1.5. So I use like hard number values like this. What I usually do when I animate is I'll like look at the character and I'll like move it like where I like it. I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then I'll look at the number and I'll be like, oh, you know, that's kind of around a hard number, like negative 1.5. So I'll just keep it at a hard number like this. That way, like, I can memorize on the other side, okay, well, when I move this one forward, it was just it was 1.5.
How do you set the keyframe?
You tap S on your keyboard. S is to set a keyframe. Now we've turned on auto key down here on the bottom right hand side. And the cool thing about having auto key on is that, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use auto key here. So when you're this walking animation is a looping animation. When you create a looping animation, the first frame and the last frame are the same. Okay, so move to frame 20, and with that foot controller selected, tap S again to create another key. Now I'm going to show you how auto key works here. Move to frame 10, which is in between those two keys, and then I want you to drag the move control back to where it says translate Z says 0, and then let go. You'll see that it automatically sets a key. You can also, I wasn't able to drag it exactly to 0. I got it close. So just go where it says translate Z and just type in 0, enter. So now when you play your animation, the play button on the right hand side, it should do this. Everybody with me? Who's not with me? Who needs help? If your animation ain't doing this, we got a problem. So all I've done is I've set 3 keys. S is to set a key, okay? Frame 0, it's moved forward in translate Z negative 1.5. I've set I just selected the controller and set the exact same key on frame 20. Then on frame 10, I've moved it back to where it was originally. 0 in translate Z. Okay? Raphael, you with me? So when you hit play on the bottom right hand side, your animation should look like this. This is where we are at. You on the end that just walked in, do you have a flash drive? Does anybody have a flash drive? They can give me real quick. I can give him the file.
None.
Wow, man, you're screwed.
There it is.
Oh, you do? I'm gonna plug it in. Thank you so much. You got lucky, fam.
I have one right here.
Oh, okay.
Don't touch my mixtapes. Like, no, turn it off. No police don't water. 1v1, man. Slasher. You and me. Let's go.
Bet, let's go.
Wait, Slasher?
Who wins?
Slayer.
Slayer.
I don't know why I said Slasher.
I would've seen.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Alright, I'm dragging the file in here. It's called walk.
Fuck.
Let's do the
360 no
best.
scopes only. I bet.
Alright, fine. We'll take it up a step. 720.
720s. Damn, you're going a little bit overboard.
Are you gonna bet each other?
Yep, fam.
No, that's
Right,
right.
there it is.
1080s. 1080s.
Hold on.
10.
1080s. Let's do this.
Here.
540s.
5 4. Wait. That's. How's that even work?
You gotta start facing away from the enemy and do 1.5 turns.
All right.
Okay.
You guys that
Looking at the enemy.
are animating, I want you to do the exact same thing with the back left alternating leg. Okay, the back left alternating leg is going to be doing the exact same thing. So what we're going to do is, at frame 0, this one's going to stay as is, frame 0 and 20, set a key on frame 0 and 20. Now frame 10, that one's going to move back 1.5. So when you play your animation, it should look like this. And then if you're really slick, you can do the alternating thing with the alternating legs, if that makes sense. So on frame 0 and frame 20, that back leg is just going to stay where it was at. You're just going to set keys on where it was at. On frame 10, you are going to move it back 1.5 in translate Z. That's not right.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I forgot you set the. Where goes right here? Right, 10.
So set frame 0 and 20 at 0.
Oh, okay. At 0?
Yep.
Okay.
Frame 10, you move it back 1.5.
Okay.
And if you're real slick, do the other legs. If you need help, raise your hand, let me know.
How?
Nice, fam.
So, yes.
I got a package.
Contact.
Amazon, fam.
I'm hoping I did this right.
All right, everybody with me?
I think.
All right. So the next legs are very, very easy. They do the exact same thing, just alternating, okay? So we'll start with the upper left one. The upper left one, since the one on the right is moving forward, then we're going to key the upper left one just like we did the last back one. So we're just going to key it at 0 at frame 0 and 20. And then at frame 10, we're going to move it forward, negative 1.5. And that back leg is going to do the opposite. So the back leg, at frame 0, we're going to move it back 1.5, set a key with it back on frame 0 and 20, and then on frame 10, we're going to move it to 0. So now your animation should look like this. What's up? Now, if you're really slick, as a foot moves from its back position to taking a step, you'll see there's frames in between 0 and 10. So there's 5, and then there's frames in between 10 and 20, which is 15. You want to lift that foot up and make it lift up as it's taking a step forward, if that makes sense. So if you want to do that, you can do that. So on frame 5 and 15, as the foot's moving forward, lift it up a little bit and have it take a step.
First, go back. Have you set any frames in it? Yeah, so it's fine. Go back. Grab it. Move it forward. So that's negative 1.5. Negative 1.5.
If you need help, ask the person sitting next to you.
Does it matter how high we raise the foot?
I think 0.5 is a good distance to raise the feet up.
0. I did the exact same thing with that thing.
This is one of the things I loved about making looping animations, is that once you figure out how to do it,
No, that'll be 1.5.
or how the creature moves, it's really kind of mathematical because the legs
No, yeah, for a second.
the legs kind of just alternate, so you're just sort of like, it's more mathematical when you do these animations. Who in here has taken 3D animation class? Does this kind of stuff seem familiar to you a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, already.
Do I animate similar to Aaron when he does looping stuff?
More or less about the same.
As Aaron taught you guys how to, you know, Aaron and I work together.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Do you know who Aaron is? Oh, he's the 3D animation teacher. So Aaron worked at DNA. He worked on Ant Bully. I think that was the movie's name. And but I also worked with him at a company here in town called Janimation, and we worked on a cinematic trailer for the new Duke Nukem game. Yeah, Aaron did this scene. He did like this end scene where like Duke was like on the top of this hill, and he was like holding onto this flagpole, and he was just like, there was all those like pig characters like crawling up the flagpole, and he was like just shooting these pig characters, and they were falling off. It was really cool. You should get him, if you're in his class, you should get him to show you that shot sometime. I always was impressed with that shot. I'll show you my shots I did sometime.
See it?
All right. I got paid $1,500 a week to do that, by the way. That's pretty nice.
Show off.
All right, so let's go ahead. So the front left leg, if you move to frame 5, I just want you to pull that up -0.5 and set a key. So then when you animate it, it should take a step. Mine goofed up on frame 10, so I need to move it back to frame 0, or move it back to 0 and translate Y. So see how that takes a step? So on frame 5, move it up 0.5 and translate, translate Y. So at frame 5, move the front upper left leg 0.5 and translate Y. And it'll take a step like this.
What do you put on 15?
So on 15, as a leg moves back, it slides because it's using its force to push itself. Does that make sense? You only want to make the legs that are moving forward take a step. So for example, if you flip it around to the back right leg, also on frame 5, will move up 0.5. Because remember, the front and back alternating legs are supposed to be doing the same thing. Now when I'm setting these keys, I'm noticing that my frame 10, for whatever reason, I have to go back in there and set translate Y to 0, because for whatever reason it moves that up as well. So guys, take a look up here real quick. Notice the front left and back right leg are now taking a step. See that? And all I've done is added a frame 5 where I've moved it up a little bit. 0.5 to be exact. Now you're going to do the exact same thing for the alternating legs, but on frame 15. So on frame 15, I can actually shift select both of these and move them up 0.5 at the same time and hit enter. And then on frame 10, I'm just going to go back and set translate Y to 0. For whatever reason, it's affecting that frame. So now when I hit play, it does this. Now what do you guys think about this pace in regards to a walk animation? Does it seem fast, slow?
Too fast.
Yeah, I agree. So sometimes when you're starting off and you're doing an animation, you want to just set your frames right now to something even because it's looping and you can like do the math real easy. Like 20 was a really good thing because I can split 20 into 5 like this, right? I can do, my steps are at 5 and 15 and my loop is at 0, 20, and 15, right? But what we can do is we can actually, now that we have main keys on 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, we could actually scale this animation up to make it move a little bit faster. But I'm not worried about that right now. Let's keep these even keys. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate the walk just a little fast. And then when we're done with the walk, we can scale it to however exactly we want it. We could even do that in Unreal, which is real easy with like one button click actually, which we actually may do. Alright, everybody with me? Does your animation look like this?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get there. So all I've done is I've moved the foot up in the air 0.5 in translate Y on frames 5 and 15 as a foot's moving forward. That's all I've done. With me? With me? Can you help him? Make sure he's good? Does anybody else need help? If you need help, raise your hand. If you just walked in and you want to come get the file, well, okay. You want to get the file where we're at right now? Do you have a USB drive or something? Save your scenes, Control S, plug it in. Plug it in.
Hey, hey, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah. I don't watch it. So.
Cowboy Bebop.
Animate.
It's the shirt he's wearing.
Nice.
One time I used to call the show Cowboy Bebop.
Alright, take it.
Thanks.
Can you give that, Micah's about to walk in, can you give that file to Micah too?
Hi, Micah.
What's up, Micah? We'll set you up right here. He's got a hard drive with the file exactly where we're at right now. Actually, if you want to just grab one of those that's on, and just grab the hard drive from there. Fire up Maya 2018.
Installed.
Mine's done.
Nice.
I just don't like
He's got a hard drive with the file on it. Just move the file to your desktop so he can get the hard drive.
The needle is moving in a way that's not supposed
It's
to.
called walk.
Yeah, like the foot is like.
There's that Migos song, Walk It Like I Talk It. Walk it like I talk it. I want to hear that while this dude's walking. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
Bring it away.
Play it. So the YouTubers can hear it too.
YouTubers.
Yeah, when they're watching
Twitch
videos.
streamers.
You should move it like half that speed.
Slow it down now.
Don't worry, fam. I got the perfect mocking music for this.
We're getting somewhere.
Well, you want to move the volume as
I
well.
can just pull this up here.
What the hell's going on?
Don't worry about it, man.
Why was that?
Hey, it's the new walk, alright?
It's a new walk. You're screwed up.
Get the gangster walk.
Get that gangster walk.
Let's get that little wing to it.
Get that wing. Whoa. Whoa, Kura, what you do that? Oh, God, that's a little too much bounce. Too much bounce.
Too much bounce.
Too much bounce.
What happened to Walk It Like I Talk It?
You gonna play that song on the way home, or you had your shirt on backwards?
No.
I probably do.
Okay, that was. I probably did. I was checking. I was like, what in the world's touching me back there?
Whoa.
Sorry. Play it, Kura. Let's see how. Play it.
I don't know. Does that look better?
Wait, slow down the animation. If that's even possible.
Make it longer.
No, it's not longer. He just needs to slow it down.
We can slow it down. I mean,
If
probably
possible.
should.
It's a slow walker.
It's a slow walker. It doesn't go. It doesn't go like fast to you like a supersonic speed.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
fam.
coming after you. Here comes the Scarab. 9 miles an hour.
How would we do that?
Increase the layers.
No, I know how to do it, fam.
Make frames or whatever.
Yeah.
And then let's know that logic.
So let's do.
14 hours.
40?
Dude, that thing's always long.
62%.
Have you noticed that?
What?
What's half of 32?
Last time
Half
you played
30.
it,
Should be
the last time you
16.
played it, it's always wrong. That thing over there.
Oh. But did you play yesterday?
Uh-uh. That's what I'm saying, it's always wrong.
We're going by 8s now?
Yeah, we'll go by 8s. How's that look?
That's a little better.
Yeah, it's better.
Too slow or what?
It's too. Actually, it's still too fast.
Dude, that's I ain't going any.
Walk it.
But it's good like that. It's
Or
good
in
like
the
that.
game, like it goes
But
like.
in the game, it's really slow.
It's like it's
But it's good like that.
All right, you guys. We need to slow this down. Apparently, I've been yelled at. So,
Yes.
Yes.
Hurry, slow it down.
what we're gonna do is set your end frame slider to 32. Set your end frame slider to 32. That is down here.
There's 2.
And what you're gonna do is just drag a box over all the controls. And what you're gonna do is drag frame 20 to frame 32. and then drag frame 10
How the hell do you?
to frame 16. The way you drag stuff is you move to that frame, hold shift and click the frame, then you can drag it. Then click off when you're done.
So 32, you said?
So 20 goes to 32. Just look up at my keys here. Instead of having them, they're going to be spread out the same way. You're just going to spread them out over 32 frames as opposed to 20 frames. So instead of 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, it's going to be 0, 8, 6, 0, 8, 16, 24, 32.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
And when you play it, it should look like this, fam.
I can't even
Fucking
amateurs.
I'll tell them to
No,
you.
you're good. I'm not good.
Ah.
Audio.
What did I do?
16.
That's the same problem.
Are you a visual?
Yeah, I can't hear it. Dude.
Nice. I'm the opposite. I'm an auditory learner. So if you tell me something, I can hear you, fam.
Wait.
But if you show me, I'm like, what?
Just the opposite.
That's right.
Scarab doesn't like
I drove it 20 times in
I made my
too
bitch.
many times, hell yeah.
All right. So when you hit play, it should be slow like this. Everybody with me? Who's still getting there?
Me. I don't think it's working.
How are you doing? You good?
I don't think it's working.
Every time I try to move it, just go right back.
You need to make sure that auto key is set.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Down on the bottom right hand side, look where my mouse is. Turn this little thing to red. Click on it. If you mouse over it, it's
You
called.
hold shift, click it,
Yeah.
and then you click 32.
No.
No?
You hold shift and click it. It turns red.
Uh-huh.
Grab the little middle arrows and drag it. Physically drag it to the frame.
Oh. So, okay.
Brain
20
explosion.
goes to
Mind
32.
blown.
15 goes to what?
10 goes to. 15 goes to 24.
15.
10 goes to. Just spread them out. Look full. 0, 8, 0, 8, 16, 24, 32. It's split. Just moved. Got it?
Yeah. 8.
Everything's split evenly. 0, 8, 16, 24, 32.
0, 8, 16.
0, 8, 16, 24, 32.
That's 60.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Nice.
Let's make it slower.
No.
100 frames.
100 frames. You gotta make that thing like a calendar.
Was that Snapchat?
Yes, it was.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
We all got
You
snaps.
Snapchatting, bro?
Hell yeah. I'm showing this amazing thing that I totally did not have hope on. That I totally rigged all by myself. No help needed. I just don't like the feet. The feet weirds me out.
You weird me out.
Look at it, crew. Look at it. It's
Yeah,
like
the
it's like
hooks
this.
are little-
The
What about
hooks.
the flaps?
The flaps, but we need the flaps.
No, the flaps are the other fucking things over there.
The infamous flaps.
The flaps are absolutely necessary.
That shit was nasty.
0, 8, 16, 24, 32.
Kurt, you missed it the other week. Somebody destroyed the toilet.
That's really not something.
Somebody put a caution sign in the bathroom.
Oh, that's weird.
Did you break it, man? That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's very fixable.
Fixable?
skipping. I'm telling on her.
Don't skip it over there.
Just.
Where's your phone?
Oh yeah, but it's on here. It goes like that.
Oh, are you watching Halo 3 without us?
Without it.
You
Why
might-
watch it when you can play
That's
it?
nice animation that you.
Master Chief Collection on Steam.
Hell yeah.
Is it?
When the hell was that supposed to be released?
I don't know.
Yeah, fam.
Aren't you a Halo guy?
I am a Halo guy, but they don't give release dates.
Excuses. Sure.
Yes. Halo Reach, when's that supposed to come out on Halo Master Chief Collection? They don't know. We don't know.
Wait, they're
Is
gonna-
Halo Reach gonna be in the collection?
It is, yes, but we
But
don't
not
know. They don't
ODST?
tell us a date because they're stupid.
What about ODST,
Nice.
man?
It's been on there. It's been on there.
Really on Steam?
Yeah.
What
No,
the fuck?
on Steam?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the Master Chief Collection.
So almost every Halo game is gonna be in the collection then.
Yes, every game, every Halo's in the collection.
Every
Five.
game's in
Except for
the
five.
collection.
5 is shit.
Wow.
Halo Infinite, fam?
Huh?
Halo Infinite?
Halo Infinite? I don't know. Yeah.
Infinite, Infinity, whatever the fuck
Infinite,
you call
yeah.
it.
Well, we don't know a release date. All we know it's gonna be in E3. It's
Wow.
gonna be in E3 this year, so
Think it's gonna be any good though?
hopefully. I heard it's gonna be an
It's gonna be
RPG.
Garbo. An RPG in Halo? Excuse me?
I know. Excuse me. Excuse.
Scarab don't have RPGs in
Cyberpunk 2077?
Huh?
Where's my Cyberpunk, bro?
I don't know. I want that game. Cyberpunk 2077.
Was it 2077?
It's 2077, I believe.
I doubt we're gonna have that technology in 2077.
All right, you guys. Let's stop talking about Halo release dates here.
Oh man.
Yeah, we switched over to Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Okay, that's true.
So, just looking at this, the knees are all wonky. So what we want to do, we can fix that with like one key, okay?
Just one.
At frame 0, grab all the knee controllers around the Scarab, and you're going to keyframe those to 5 and translate Y. So set a key to 5 and translate Y on frame 0. And they'll all point up in the air. Nice, and it'll look way better.
Boy, so you grab the plus signs.
Yeah, grab the plus signs, move them up at frame 0, translate Y 5. Set a key
On keyframe 5?
on frame 0 for the 3rd time.
Say that again? For the 6th time?
I ain't saying it again.
Just at 0, is that it?
Just at 0, yeah.
Wow, look at the legs.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Oh, wow, that does look.
A little.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you look at the front right leg here, what's wrong with the tip here? With just the tip.
It's
What's wrong?
It's crooked.
Just the tip.
it's it's
It looks like you have more
it's crooked.
Come on, stay with me here. What's wrong with y'all?
Oh, girl,
Clean it up. Clean it up.
It's
broken.
It's broken.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, you should get that
So,
Did you get that check?
Just turn it.
yeah, you should get that checked. So at frame 32 and frame 0 are the same for that tip, okay? So what I want you to do is just grab the controller and you're just gonna rotate it. Everybody look up here. Just rotate it like this to where it makes sense. And it looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be on rotate Y 25. And set that for frame 32 and 0. Just type in frame Y or rotate Y 25. Right.
What? What's that?
Oh, 25.
25. Yep. And then on frame 16, it's also broken. So you can change that to looks like -5. So it's broken on frame 0, 32, and 16. So just kind of rotate it to where it's not broken anymore. Actually, rotate Y. If you set it to 0 on 16, it looks pretty good. We just don't want that broken.
No, get off my screen.
And if you're a pro, go ahead and fix all the other tips.
On it.
Nice. So like the front left leg, that is jacked up on frame 16. Just rotate it till it looks normal. Use that negative 25 or 25. And it looks like it's fixed on the other ones. Just rotate around to the legs and look at what's broken on when you scale through the animations. Fix it when it's broken. Now the other set of legs, I'm noticing that instead of using 25, I'm using 20. Does anybody else notice that? Not there yet? Okay. Good talk.
Look at
Looks
that.
fine at 20. At 25.
Yeah, I mean, adjust it however, you know, your animation is your animation, you know.
Oh, never mind. Let's see it. Yeah, 20.
Wait, hold on.
Good talk.
No, no. Just auto keyframe already.
I looked at your actual foot.
They're trying to
Oh
smooth
my
us for no
god.
reason.
What is going on?
Ankle is snapped.
Your ankle is like, I don't know
I
what the
guess
hell's
it's just the
going
back
on.
legs I need to be at 20.
Does anybody need help?
It's all good and
Save your scenes. Control S. We're getting there with this guy.
Back legs at 20. There was something where it was closer in on its body, it's fine. When it's stretched out, move it at 20. And it's in here to where it looks straight. Frame 0 at 32. This one right here anyway.
All right, everybody with me? So we're gonna add some additional in-betweens to these claws here to make them even cooler. Actually, let's just move on. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this animation today.
Not today.
Actually, no, let's do it. Why not? Let's make this look really cool.
Then you go up and down.
Sure. Oh, we added a controller. That's cool.
Yeah, there was the same thing on that. Except for when it's in the middle right here, 16. Yeah, 20.
There we go. I thought I screwed it up. It's all,
Nice.
It's all good
You
now.
already did.
I thought I did. It's all good. Oh, yeah.
This looks extremely robotic.
It is a robot.
I know, but I'm trying to like.
Smooth it out.
You're just lucky you're not dealing with the flaps. Because they're constantly moving up and down.
All right, we're just gonna keep this really, really simple. All right, so we have these plus controllers for the feet that do this. Okay. Right now, when I watch this step here, it just looks very robotic. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some in-betweens for that little claw. So go ahead and grab the upper right leg, the front right leg, grab the plus for that, and set a key on 16 and 32. Just grab it and hit S on 16 and 32. Now on frame 24, select it and hit E to rotate, and you're just going to rotate that. Guys, just look up here real quick. You're just going to rotate it like this a little bit. There's no real number because it's rotating in all axes. It shouldn't though. Yeah, it's rotating in all axes, so you just kind of rotate it to where, I guess you could just call it so it's vertical. And then when you play your animation, it should have like a little thing now. So 16, so I added that key at 24. And it just looks a little bit better than how it looked. It's not perfect, but it doesn't matter. It was way robotic before. That is not right.
Yeah, I know.
That's perfect.
And then all the other legs, you can do that for on their specific frames as they move forward. So we set a key on 16 and 32, just as it was, and then on frame 24 we rotated it just a little vertical.
Although some of the legs would be different frame.
Yes, the other legs will be different frame. For example, so the alternating leg on the back side, let's flip around to that. That one, as it moves forward, that will actually be on 24 as well. So you'll set the same keys on the back leg on the alternate side. So 16 and 32. And then as that one moves forward on frame 24, you're just going to rotate it again to where it's vertical.
I'm just gonna keep it. I'm not. I don't care.
What's the problem?
It doesn't want to do what I want it to do.
You're moving instead of rotating. You need to rotate instead of move. What's
So on 16. 24.
It was that simple.
Shut up. Rotate.
To be honest with you, the back legs, they look better when you don't go that crazy with it. Like if I rotate it like really vertical, like it just looks weird. See that?
Yeah.
Too much there?
Yeah, so on the back legs, you just want to give it just a little bit. Not quite vertical, but in between vertical. Do you still need help? Here,
Oh, I need something.
let me help you, fam.
Thank you, man. I'll be out, man. Alright, so let's talk like here. Alright, so you're not rotating this, you're rotating this. Alright, so just gonna rotate 24. Okay, well, one of the problems is your animations are goofed.
It's good.
Nice.
Nice. The process of learning. You
Do you have a flash drive? I don't know how to. I don't really want to.
Getting a flash drive, mom, girl.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, this is one problem here.
People, you get scared for a moment. Did you get scared?
A little bit.
Scared, dude.
A
A little bit.
Whoa!
So this is supposed to be up in here, fam. So like taking a step.
Mind blown now.
So then when you rotate it. Yeah. Um, you're actually not that far off.
You want to triple again?
What?
It's gonna go on a triple again.
Well,
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Very good.
you just. You got some. Here's the problem. Like I think is that you're looking at your 3D is messing me up here. What's goofed here?
Oh, I see it.
Think you can fix that?
Awesome.
So here's the problem. In slow mo. So this one never hits the ground. So on frame 16. Okay, so we set that to 0.
Ah.
Yeah, you're good. You just had like a little issue there.
Funny error. Yeah.
You're good.
I'm good now.
Fantastic.
Alright, does anybody need help? Is anybody lost?
I'm good.
Alright, all we've done is just given these things a little rotation using the plus as they move forward. And the back legs,
let's hear it playing that shit.
we do the same thing.
Yeah, just a little.
The back legs we just do just a little bit.
The ring right here.
if you tap your space bar and go into your side view like this, it may help you out a little bit. Some people were having an issue where they kind of missed their legs weren't hitting the ground.
As in some people, that was me.
I'm not gonna name names though.
Me, David.
Your things weren't hitting the ground, man?
My shit wasn't hitting the ground.
What'd you do, bro?
I don't know. I done goofed. That's what happened. I goofed.
Alright, I got 15 minutes left to finish this animation, so let's move forward here. Everybody with me? Save your scenes, Control S. Let's focus on the
Save scene, Control S.
Alright, I want you to drag a box over all controls.
Bet.
Drag a box over all controls. Move to frame 0 and tap S. Move to frame 0 and tap S.
Bet.
Now move to frame 32 and tap S again. We are creating a
The bounce.
looping keyframe on the front and end frames for every controller.
Bet.
We're going to loop this animation. So I want you, now we're going to do some complicated animating.
Awesome.
Go into Windows, Animation, Graph Editors. Windows, Animation, Graph Editor. So now it's time to turn your brain on. Hit the nitrous on your brain a little bit.
Windows.
Bam.
Windows.
Wow.
Animation.
Windows, Animation, Graph Editor.
Whoa, these are a bunch. I think am I looking at the dart trains?
Even more stuff. So we've just been setting keys and stuff. Now the Graph Editor allows you to really get in and adjust the details of how the motion does stuff. So you can see all of our keys here in the Graph Editor, and the things that connect the keys are called splines. Okay, and we can actually select those splines and adjust the splines how they ease in and out, things like that. So one thing we need to do is zoom out a little bit. Use your mouse wheel, zoom out in the Graph Editor. All right, we need to loop this for infinity. Okay. So to do that, go ahead and go to View Infinity in the Graph Editor. View Infinity. Turn that on, and you should see before the animation there's a straight line, and after the animation there's a straight line. Okay, that means we're viewing the infinity of this animation. Now go to Curves, Pre-Infinity Cycle, Curves, Post-Infinity Cycle. So before the animation we are looping it forever, and after the animation we are looping it forever. Nice.
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 So if you set this thing up to walk, it will walk forever.
So if you put this in a game, if you don't have it, it'll just do the animation once and it'll just stay still for like the rest?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Yes.
I think I answered your question correctly.
Yes, like let's say you put it in a game
Uh-huh.
and then you want it to walk. It's only to do like the animation one time.
And then it's just
And
gonna be
it's just
sitting
gonna
there
stay
moving.
still.
And
if
moving
you-
at the same time.
That's right. But when you check the box in Unreal that says loop, it will do it forever.
Bet.
Nice.
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 All right. Grab the center hula hoop around the body.
Grab the center hula.
Yeah, save your scenes. Control S.
Show us.
Grab the center hula hoop around the body.
Around the body.
And when you move this thing, it should move the whole thing like this.
Center hula hoop.
All right.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Nice.
Did it go higher or?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Now we are going to do some really complicated stuff.
Nice. Alright, bet. Let's get this. Get this bread.
Let's get this money.
Get the bread.
All right. So I want you to select the center hula hoop control here.
Hula hoop.
Then on the left-hand side, it's called Nerve Circle 2, at least mine is. On the left-hand side, you should see something that says Translate Y.
The green one?
It should be green. It should say Translate Y. Okay?
Bam.
Bam.
Now, I think it would be best if you guys just watched me do it one time, and then you guys did it on your own. Alright? Because this is very, very complicated.
Go for it.
But it's awesome. So, you have 3 keys here. 0, 16, and 32. Alright? They loop for infinity on either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Yeah, we have 2.
Okay, well, if you have 2, then set a key on 0, 16, and 32, so you have 3. Make sure you have 3 there. That'd be a good place to start.
Alright, I got it.
Damn, now we got 3.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright, so what we're going to do is, as you grab a curve point here, it creates 2 handles on either side. What I'm going to do is I need to grab the right handle on all 3 of these curves at one time. So what I'm going to do is grab the first one and grab the handle. But I need to hold shift to grab multiple handles at the same time. So I'm going to grab the curve, shift select the handle. Grab the curve, shift select the handle. Grab the curve, shift select the handle. Then what I'm going to do is tap move on my keyboard with W and then middle mouse drag up to where it creates these curves forever. And what that's going to do when I hit play is this. Nice.
Nice.
And I will probably go over that. I'm going to go over that again. Alright? Alright, so grab handle 1, hold shift, grab the right handle, right handle, right handle. Grab all the right handles at the same time. Tap W to move them, and then middle mouse drag up to create the curves. Then hit play.
Alright.
Nice. Got it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like mine bouncing like that. So
Make it higher.
I don't
Middle mouse drag higher.
know.
That's way too much.
Oh god. Oh shit. That's hilarious. Oh my god.
But see what's cool about this with the graph editor, like literally with a couple clicks, I've like created his bounce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with like no time at all. Nice.
He's dancing.
Alright, so now we want to give him a little rotate as he moves, okay? That is going to be with rotate X. So experiment with the curves on rotate X doing similar stuff and see what you come up with.
Rotate X, you say?
Sometimes you middle mouse drag up, sometimes you middle mouse drag down, just to kind of see if it does what it's supposed to do.
And then it's Scarab.
Nice. Alright, so guys, look at my curve here for rotate X. So my curve's a little bit different. What I did was, instead of grabbing all 3 curves at the same time, like this, and moving them all like this, where I have 1, 2, I have like 2 humps, what I did was I grabbed the center curve and rotated it. Then I grabbed the end curves and then rotated it so it was smooth. There was only 1 hump like this, right? And it did this, which is, I need to go the opposite direction. So I need to actually rotate that up and then grab the ends and then rotate those to be even. So it looks like this. So play with the curves until you get something that looks nice.
I like it.
Yeah, that looks cool. So a lot of this stuff takes experimenting. Like that doesn't look terrible. You want the thing to be menacing as it coming towards you.
It's just standing there.
And sometimes you'll notice, like with animation,
It's just standing there.
Menacingly.
you know, less is more. You don't always have to like have it look like super crazy.
Right there, man.
Oh no! Did I screw it up? No. Oh, it's all good. That's funny.
That looks really cool. Alright, so check this out. So I did something else that looks really cool. Alright, so watch this, guys. As this thing's coming towards you, it's coming towards you pretty straight like this, right? And that looks cool. But what I'm doing is on frame 16, I'm going to rotate it. Let's call it -10. And then for frame 0 and 32, I'm going to rotate it +10. And so as it walks, actually do that the opposite way. So on frame 16, you want to rotate it frame 16, rotate it 10. And then on frame 0 and 32, rotate it -10. This is all in rotate Y.
I put mine at 5.
Yeah, 10 seems to...
16 and 32, you said?
5 then?
At 16 and 32?
0, 16, and 32. So 16 will be one way, and then 0 and 32 will be the same.
Okay. What number on 0, 32?
So on 16, I did -5. On 0, I did... This is in rotate Y. On 0, I did +5. You were right. 10 is a little much. Alright, so in rotate Y, on frame 16, I rotated it -5. And then for 0 and 32, I did +5. That looks pretty cool. It's not a horrible animation. So for next class, Micah, we're going to get this into Unreal, and we're going to hook the walk animation up so he walks around and stuff. We need you to teach us how to make it shoot.
Nice.
Cool? So can you prep that
Maybe
for
we
next
could try
time? Or
putting an Unreal turn rate.
just,
Oh my gosh.
and we'll have you run over the blueprints and stuff to make that. Is that cool? Awesome. Micah's going to teach us some code next time.
I have it rotating like this, just instead of going up and down like this.
Yeah.
I have it going like this, just a tad.
Nice.
I like it. The way it walks. I like it.
So we have a lot of controllers in here. You want to use all of them. One of the things that we haven't used is the clavicle controls. You want to add some animation for those. You know, you can grab the alternating ones at the same time. I'm just going to do it up here and show you guys, and then you guys can keep up if you want. I'm just going to go, I'm going to do some like crazy animator stuff now. I'm going to go to Windows, Animation Editors, Graph Editor. If y'all just want to sit back and watch, I'll just walk through it. I'm recording this.
I'll sit back.
I'll just sit back and relax. Oftentimes when this is art, oftentimes when you're doing art, like, it's hard to like do art and think and be artistic and teach at the same time. So I'm just going to like be artistic and then talk my way through it. So the legs alternate. Right, so I'm going to grab the alternating clavicles here, and they rotate in, that is rotate Y, or rotate X. So I'm going to control select both of these rotate X's. I'm just going to make sure that keys are set on the ends and the middles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try our little trick here and grab all these handles. This little trick works good because you can test the trick, and then if it works, great. That's going to be too much. So I need to do the other curve, which is I grab this and curve it, and then I grab these two and curve it. Let's see what that looks like. I actually don't like that. Might have to go in here and do these individually, to be honest. So this one, frame 0, it ain't doing much, so I'll key it at frame 0. At frame 16, I'll just rotate it a little bit. Do the same thing for the back. It's stretched at frame 0, so I'll rotate it back at frame 0 and 32. Keep it the same where it's at on frame 16. The back leg, where it's stretched, I'll rotate it, and then keep it where it's at on frame 0 and 32. And then the front one, where it's stretched on frame 0 and 32, I'll rotate it, and then on frame 16 I'll just set it to 0. Oops. Or negative 90, I guess. So as they're stretched, the clavicles are rotated, and when they're not stretched, they're not doing anything. So then here, these are stretched, these aren't doing anything. And I have a pop. Why do I have a pop? Oh. So the last thing I'm going to do with this animation is, the legs are cool like that, but they all move at the same time. This is just a little trick to like make it look even cooler. I am going to grab the alternating leg controls, and since this animation loops, I'm just going to grab all those alternating leg controls and move them forward a couple clicks. And I'm going to go a little crazier than that. Let's move it forward 3 clicks. Or actually, what are we? 32? Let's do 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go crazy. Is that too crazy? Is that too organic? The thing is that, yeah, the thing is that you don't want to make a robot look organic. right? If you're doing a spider, a real spider, you'd want to make it really look organic. If you're doing, like this would be future robot, right? So you want to make it look robotic, but not crazy organic.
It almost looks a little cartoonish. It's fun. Like that
With that addition, so we can tone it down a little bit. So instead of doing 4 clicks, I'll do 2 clicks. Is it still cartoony? Part of the problem could be the legs being rotated. I'll tell you what, I really don't like the way the back looks when it rotates, so I'm just going to delete the back feet when they rotate. That was not a good addition. And I have broke my back foot step. Oh, because I deleted the wrong key. It doesn't look too bad. What do you think, Micah?
Nice. There's something about it that's.
I think I know.
The body,
I think
the body.
I think
Is it the bounce?
It's not the bounce, it's these front claws, I think. Here. Oh, really?
The bounce?
I think so.
Make it don't make it bounce too much.
Is it too bouncy? Alright, that's no problem. So let's go to our NURBS curves here. I'll grab the bounce. Let's go into our Windows Animation Graph Editor. So I believe that was translate up and down. So let's chill out on the bounce.
Chill.
And then I can chill out on this thing too.
To be honest, I think it'll look way better with this slower animation. It's a giant spider looking thing, so to me it looks like it's walking a little too fast. That's on me.
That's Halo, man.
It's me. It's my opinion. Because it's huge.
Huge.
When it walks, it takes a long ass step. So that's my opinion.
Nice.
Nice, yes.
What is wrong with this thing? I'm trying to.
Did you crack your screen, Carl?
Yeah.
Damn, Carl. How did that happen?
Drop it.
Duh.
He was playing Fortnite and he lost.
It was tapping too hard to shoot.
So I don't mind that.
That's way too fast.
could be rotated.
Scarab on Halo Wars.
Let me see it. How fast does it go?
Who made Halo Wars?
Halo Wars was made in town.
In town?
Yeah.
How fast is the Scarab? Yeah, it's way too fast.
Yeah, that's way too fast.
It needs to take like 10 minutes to take 2 steps.
Well, it's to be honest, yeah, it should be like half that speed.
Are you a Halo Nazi?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice.
I have over 6,000 hours in Halo.
Fucking nerd.
I know.
Nerd. I know every single grass.
I counted every single speck, every pixel.
So, guys, I'm just going to leave this as is. This is good enough
Yeah, it's good enough.
for our purposes. We've gone pretty nuts with this.
Yeah.
I like
I could go way more nuts with this.
Let's not.
But this was pretty good for today. Did everybody learn it? Everybody learn something?
I learned, yeah, I did.
All right.
Wait, we're supposed to be learning?
We're still